Hi. How's everyone doing today? Thanks for jumping on. Welcome to the replay. I'm Heidi Papoff, and I am an advocate for health and well-being, non-toxic living, living your best life, all the different ways you could say basically the same thing. And I don't know if you're similar to me in that your, Facebook feed or just your life in general is filled with people who don't ever seem to have enough energy, who are often talking about how tired they are, how getting through the day is a struggle. And I definitely can relate to that and have felt like that before too. So I wanted to come on here and give you 7 things that could actually be zapping your energy and what you can do to change those things around and recharge that lost energy. So thanks for jumping on. Hi everybody. Put some comments down there if you're on live. Let me know you're here. Give me some emojis. Give me some hearts. If you're watching on the replay, let me know where you're watching from. Type replay in the comments, whatever you want to do, but just give me an opportunity to say hi and thank you for getting on. So like I said, I was reading an article today that was basically about 7 things that could potentially be draining you of energy and how you can pretty simply change those things around and get that energy back. So the number one thing, and I think something that is so common that most people do not realize, is dehydration. Hi from Fall Creek. Hi, Jamie. So many people are walking around in our country, in our world, in a state of chronic semi-dehydration. I don't mean they're so dehydrated that they're sick. Usually we don't even know we're dehydrated until we get into that state of extreme dehydration. But just people who are consistently on a daily basis not drinking enough water. It's really easy to do. I know I was not drinking enough water up until a few years ago when I really started making an effort to change that, because I realized how much better I felt when I was hydrated and all of the health risks associated with not being hydrated. So how much water is enough water? Well, typically you want to aim for, take your body weight in pounds. So if I weigh 140 pounds, I want to divide that in half. That's 70, the number is 70. So I would want to go for 70 ounces of water a day. So I know that I don't always hit this mark, because one time when I was really working hard to get to this, I decided to download an app on my phone that would remind me to drink water throughout the day so that I was making sure I got enough ounces. So it would remind me every so often to drink, 8 ounces of water until I had met my goal. Then if I wanted to, I could keep drinking water or stop or whatever. But that felt like a lot of water to consume. But I did feel really good, and I noticed a difference when I did that. So I got kind of a feel for how much water that was, and then tried to maintain that as I went forward. So drinking soda, coffee, a lot of black tea, that can actually have a reversal effect on your hydration. So if you do drink a lot of those things throughout the day, you're going to be somebody who needs to make up for that with even more water. Now, there are some, products you can buy that are for hydration specifically, and I actually have one. I didn't plan on showing you this, but this is something that we keep in our house that we really like. It's Nuns. I don't know if that's actually how you say it, but it's N-U-U-N. It's just a tablet that you drop into your water, let it dissolve, and drink it. And I don't drink one of these every day. My husband does. But that's a really great way to get your electrolytes, make sure that the water you're drinking is doing a better job at hydrating you. So that's just one trick, but just being sure that trade out those sodas for water. Trade out that other dehydrating drink for water, and try to make your water enjoyable somehow if you want to squeeze some lemon in it or whatever. But water is super important. If you don't get enough water when you're dehydrated, it actually slows down your circulation, which then is not letting enough oxygen get to your muscles, which then makes them feel tired. So that is one tip for you, or one energy zapper is dehydration. And then of course the tip is aim for half your body weight in ounces of water daily. If you don't get to it one day, try to make up for it the next day, and so on. The second energy zapper is sugar. So Sugar is something that when we eat it, it actually gives us a little bit of a high. We feel good maybe for the first 10 minutes. And then, so what it does is it spikes your blood sugar, then your insulin surges, and then your blood sugar drops dramatically. So you go like boom, boom, and often that drop takes you into a lower state of energy than you were even before you had the sugar. So then you end up feeling more tired, which sometimes could lead somebody to eat more sugar, or maybe they then go for a caffeinated something, and then that same spike and drop happens. So it's not a sustainable pattern. Sugar is addictive, and it's in so many things hidden. So if you're interested in, lowering your sugar, you might want to look into all of the different names that sugar is called, and then be looking for those things in the products that you're eating and drinking. Sugar is also a gateway to chronic illness. So I recommend, if you are somebody who feels like you're addicted to sugar, to go on a sugar cleanse, basically, or a sugar detox. Once you do that, that addictive, you won't be addicted anymore, and then it'll be much easier to choose lower sugar options. Some substitutes for sugar, if you're baking or if you add it to coffee or tea, is honey, maple syrup, or organic coconut crystals. I've actually used coconut sugar recently, and it's really good. The third energy zapper is poor sleep. So if you can relate to not feeling like you're getting enough sleep, not feeling like you're getting quality of sleep, raise your hand in the comments. I know as a mom of 2 little kids, one is 6, one is 3, that time in my life of sleep deprivation is actually not fully gone yet, but also feels like it's still, very much recent in my mind. And I know what it's like to feel sleep deprived. So as adults, we actually still need 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And that's quality sleep, not broken sleep. If you're repeatedly not getting that many hours, or if you're repeatedly having broken low quality sleep, it's going to catch up to you, and you're going to feel chronic fatigue. So not getting enough sleep at night can actually impair your memory. It can alter your mood, and it can lead to separate health issues as well. So a few tips for changing the quality of sleep you're getting. If it's just a matter of quality or quantity, just try changing your bedtime to half an hour earlier one night, then increasing that to an hour earlier. If if you can find a way to be able to sleep longer in the morning on weekends, do that. But going to bed earlier is probably a more realistic solution for most people. And then to make that sleep quality, some things you want to do is remove electronics from your bedroom. Now, we have had a TV in our room at times. Right now we do not, and I prefer it that way. I feel like having it there makes you want to watch it. And when you have that electronic light in your eyes right before bed, it actually affects your circadian rhythms and makes it harder to fall asleep. Same goes for if you're looking at your phone right before you go to bed. That's going to actually affect your ability to fall asleep. Not everyone, of course, is like that or that sensitive, but that's probably for most people. Take a nice warm bath before bed. There are so many now guided meditations that are great for inducing deeper sleep, helping you relax and fall asleep. So try one of those. Now, yes, you might have to use your phone for that, but just have the phone over here so the light is not affecting your eyes. Do a little bit of self-massage with some lavender essential oil, rub it around your neck, release the tension in your shoulders, whatever that's going to be. Have some chamomile tea before bed. Maybe an hour before you want to go to bed, drink some chamomile tea. That's going to have a relaxing effect, but then also if you drink it an hour before bedtime, it won't wake you up to have to go pee in the middle of the night. I know that's one thing that I always think about when I'm drinking tea is this going to make me get up at 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom? Number 4 is stress level. So stress creates adrenaline, and adrenaline creates a cortisol spike. So a cortisol spike is almost like a sugar rush, but hormonally. Cortisol is our fight or flight hormone. So when you are constantly introduced or affect, what's the word? Now I'm going to have a complete brain fart. But when you're constantly being exposed to stressful situations, that is going to cause adrenaline and cortisol spikes. And then your body cannot maintain. So the cortisol is actually going to make you feel charged and energized and, all right, I got this. But then the opposite effect of that is that it drops and then you feel tired. So it, like I said, it's kind of like when you have that sugar rush and then you crash. And and also a constant repetitive lifestyle of that high cortisol spikes and dips can have a negative effect on your health, specifically your heart. So this stress can also lead to poor sleep, like we were just talking about. It affects, your ability to shut your brain off and relax and go to sleep. Oh, here's Lukey. He needs me to open his granola bar.
No, I need scissors.
Scissors in the hands of a 3-year-old? Let's see. Want me to do it for you, honey?
Where's that Christmas? What's in that Christmas?
This is my interruption. Let me do this for you, honey. I'm on a live video, and people want to hear about how to reduce their stress. And I don't want you taking the scissors away. How to reduce stress. Don't let your 3-year-old run around the house with a pair of scissors. Here, honey. Okay, so some ways to reduce stress is meditation, kind of like how to get your mind to relax to go to sleep at night. Like I said, there are so many apps now or YouTube where you can find short, really nice, simple guided meditations. That's a way to start. Don't get overwhelmed by thinking like, oh my gosh, I've tried to meditate in the past and I'm so bad at it. I can't make my mind shut down. And believe me, I completely get it. I'm still learning how to meditate, and I completely accept that some days my attempts to meditate are major failures, and some days I feel like it really makes a difference, and that's completely okay. That's why it's called a practice of meditation, sort of like yoga, which is the next one. So if you can figure out how to fit in short amounts of yoga, the whole idea with yoga is mindfulness. It's slowing down the mind, being in the moment of the movement, holding that pose. It's kind of like a form actually of meditation, but it's through physical movement.
The doggy jumped out. The doggy jumped out.
That's okay, honey. That's okay. So you can find, like I was saying before with meditation, you can find free ways to find yoga on the internet with YouTube or other apps. Oh, the doggy did get out. Okay. There are, of course, probably yoga studios where you live, but if they're not, like I said, if you have an internet connection, you have access to yoga, you have access to meditation. These are all great ways to slow down the mind, clear the clutter, but also just exercise in general. Exercise in general is a great way to get out some of those stress hormones and just movement and strengthen your muscles and get the oxygen flowing. All of that is really good for your mind. Suddenly it's newsflash central around here with my 3-year-old. Okay, so spending too much time indoors is energy zapper number 5. Now the reason this can zap your energy is because the air indoors is often stuffy. It's often, if you work indoors, there are chemicals from air fresheners. All of these things can be toxifying basically. The artificial light can be bad for your circadian rhythms, like I was saying with the electronics being in your face. So if you work indoors, if you have to spend a lot of time indoors because of your job, if you live in a climate where it's rainy or really cold for a lot of months of the year, there's still ways you can get outside. I mean, you can just walk outside under cover, bundle up, whatever, but getting that exposure to natural light, getting the fresh air, even if for 2 to 3 minutes at a time, is going to have a benefit to your health. If you work indoors, go outside during your breaks. Go outside and just stand there for 5 minutes during your lunch break. It might sound silly, it might sound like it's not gonna make a difference, but it actually can. Any physical change up to your environment or your physiology can have an effect and have a positive effect on your current state. Sitting, number 6, is if you spend a lot of time sitting. Just in general, that sedentary lifestyle can weaken your muscles. When you have weakened muscles, it's going to make everything you do seem harder. It's going to make climbing the stairs more tiring. It's going to make standing up and walking to go do what you need to do feel more tiring. So again, if you work indoors, if you work at an office job, get up and walk around the entire building. Like, do a lap, whatever you need to do every hour. I've given this advice actually quite a few times to people who feel that they feel tired throughout the day. Just get up and walk around. That'll get your blood flowing. That'll get more oxygen into your body. It will make a difference, even if it seems like such a little thing. If you got up and did it every hour of the day, it's going to help strengthen your muscles, but it's also going to make you feel a little surge of energy. Or, like I said before, just exercise in general. If you have to sit a lot, make sure you're getting at least a little bit of exercise either daily or a few times a week to offset that sedentary lifestyle. Clutter is number 7. So this might seem like, how is clutter zapping my energy? But having to look at clutter, even if you're not consciously aware of the effect that it could be having on you, it is kind of like a little reminder of, it's almost like a little to-do list that you're staring at that's not getting done. And that can have a subconscious stressful effect on your mentality, on your emotional state. So if you can figure out a time to go through your things, I know that it can be hard for people to feel like they want to get rid of things that they might need down the road, but really looking at what you have that you're not using. It might be something that you feel like, oh, that's so nice, I don't want to get rid of it. But if you haven't used it and you've had it for 6 months or a year, try to find a new home for it. Try to give it to somebody a coworker or a neighbor, somebody who will use it. Donate it, whatever you need to do. Have a friend come over, somebody who's not attached to the things that you have, and have them really go through each thing with you and say, okay, do you need this? I know what I need to have somebody do, because my own clutter can feel so overwhelming to me that I don't know what I need and I don't need, and I don't know where to put it and all of that. So going and getting some of those space-saving organizers to put things in and then put them away. If it is something that you need, but it doesn't need to be out on your counter, put it away somewhere. Make room in your drawers so that you have a place for things to go. And, if you need to look up and study a little bit on minimalism and how people who practice minimalism are actually often a lot happier because of it. That doesn't mean you have to go full minimalist, but it can be inspiring to help you realize that you don't need all of the things and the stuff that we have in our lives that hold on to, that actually clutter up our brains and can lead to us feeling more stressed out and therefore zapping our energy. So I hope that some of these tips were helpful. I know that, not everybody probably has all 7 things of this going on. Maybe you do. But this should be some simple ways to at least change those a little bit, maybe just the first steps toward getting those changed and giving yourself your energy back. So if you want to know what I do to increase my own energy and what helps me feel good every day, reach out to me. I'll let you know, and I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye.